Well, it's September the 1st. Welcome to the shop and welcome to Canadian weather. We have gone from 31 degrees Celsius with high humidity, which is the 90s in Fahrenheit, to 18 degrees Celsius with medium humidity in 3 days. So almost half the temperature. And that just happened in the last 3 days. Now, if I take a look at the trends over the next 2 weeks, we are going to be more moderate. We are going to be 20 degrees Celsius, maybe some 18s, maybe some 20s, 22, and that is perfect for painting the car. So let's start looking at what we need to get done before we can start to paint. But before we paint the car, we needed to do a few things. We wanted to make some changes to the paint booth. There were a number of recommendations by the community in general. So I want to thank everyone who responded to my YouTube videos over the past couple of weeks and gave me some pointers on the paint booth. Also, I've made a decision about how I'm going to paint the car. But before I get to that decision, let's take a look around and see what we've made those changes. So first thing you're probably noticing is originally in my video, I had two 24 by 16 filters. Well, then I went to 3 24 by 16 filters. Well, now I have 10 24 by 16 filters. Now, why did we go to so many filters? And that's because when that fan is running and it is exhausting air out, it needs to bring air in. Now, it has two options. Option one is to come in through the least resistance, which of course are these filters. But if you don't have enough filters, what's going to happen is it's going to draw in air any way it can. And that means it's going to come in through any nook or cranny or crack that I've missed. Then what's going to happen is it is going to come in there and it's going to bring dust with it. So the more filters you have, the easier air can get in, the less likely it's going to leak. Now, the next thing you're probably noticing over this shoulder, where I now have 3 additional filters, that used to be the door. Now, this is lengthwise, so the fan is at that end. This is the end of the paint booth, and it's widthwise is this way. When I would open this door and the fan was running, it would draw air through the open door and therefore not only bring dirt and debris in, it would take that dirt and debris and carry it for the entire length of the paint booth. And that didn't make any sense. So what did we do? Well, we moved the door. Now, this was highly recommended by a number of my viewers. Taking the door now and placing it here in close proximity to the fan means that when I open the door, any debris that does come in is going to be ejected directly from the fan. So it's not going to come the entire length of the paint booth. It's going to be ejected immediately. Now, another great idea. There is now a wall switch, and on that wall switch, I plug the fan in, which means I can turn the fan off from the outside of the paint booth, allow the fan to stop, which means we're no longer creating a vacuum. Then I open the door, because without the fan running, there won't be a mad rush of air coming in through this open door. Once I get inside and I close the door behind me, I can then use that same switch and turn the fan back on, and therefore all the air will then move back across the paint booth rather than, again, being sucked in through the door. So again, great ideas. I've incorporated all of them, including putting a filter on the fan itself. Now, this is to save the fan, because as I'm spraying, all of those particulates are going to go through the fan, and the fan cools itself by drawing air through the motor. So we obviously don't want particulates in the motor and burn the motor out. But secondly, it's going to get all over the fan blades and it's going to lose efficiency, etc., etc. And also, and lastly, I don't want to be injecting those pollutants outside, right? We want to make sure we keep them inside. So I have a couple of extra spare filters, and I can change those up as this one gets dirty, because this, of course, is the most important. And then finally, all the way around the outside of the paint booth, I now have 6-foot LED and fluorescent strips. So that way there we now have lighting so that I can see shadows and I can paint in that regard. I also have these mobile lights, and I have some here. I have some on my portable stand. So I can move them around as well, so I can make sure I can eliminate all of the shadows, all of the lights, to make sure I can do the consistency on it. So weather is getting better for painting. The paint booth, I believe, is now complete as far as getting ready for painting. So there's only one last question, and that's about the painting itself. And I had to come to a decision on that as well. So what's the last thing I needed to make a decision on? Well, I needed to make a decision on the white stripe, and I decided not to embed it in the side of the car. Now, the reason I'm doing this is threefold. I had a number of people make comments, and I got some feedback from individuals who have painted many cars. And the challenge that they pointed out is that the mask that I am using to mask off the white is the actual C-stripe that you buy to apply to this car. That C-stripe is semi-permanent. The adhesive on it is very aggressive. So it's designed to go on, and once you squeegee it in, it's designed to stay there. By using that adhesive on base coat, there is a high probability that I'm going to pull white off of the car when I pull that C-stripe because of that adhesive. Now, even if I get lucky and I'm able to pull that C-stripe off without pulling the white, again, that adhesive can leave residue because it is so aggressive. And I can't really clean it because remember, this is just untreated base coat. I can't use aggressive solvents because I'll pull the base coat off. I can't clean it properly to be 100% sure that I've got all of the adhesive off, and therefore when I clear it, it'll make a mess. Now, third and final thing, which is a risk all the time, is that when you're peeling anything, the blue that's on top could possibly rip. You can rip the blue away from the car, and that's if you put it on too thick, you didn't let it harden up, whatever reason. There's many reasons why you can pull the blue. So that's strike number 3. The risks are just too great. Let's put a beautiful Acapulco blue over the entire car. Let that set up beautifully, clear the heck out of it, come back, sand it, polish it, and then we can always apply that white stripe if we like it. And the idea is then I can apply the white stripe, and if I really love it, but I want something more permanent, I can get it pinstriped. I can get somebody to come in and actually pinstripe the car. Why not? Or change it up a bit, maybe don't take that C, but just put the stripe. But the idea is those options are available to me. But if I embed that white stripe, there are no options, and especially if something goes wrong. So anyways, I hope you agree with my decision. I think a nice clean Acapulco blue on this car is exactly what we need to do. I'm looking forward to getting the paint guns out probably in the next couple of days, get this place all staged up and clean, ready to go. And I'm looking forward to your comments on any changes I've made or any decisions on the paint. And again, like I said, I hope you agree with me. And if you do, I hope you hit that like button, and I'll see you soon.